Hey there, this is my 2018 KLX 250. I purchased it about 8 months ago and have put on about 1,100 miles. And I was just going to go over some of the modifications that I have done and let you know what I think about some of them. In the front, we have Tusk rim locks. I put it on the rear also. I had a problem with the valve stem. I've torn 3 valve stems, 2 in the front, 1 at the rear, and I'm not sure if it was due to lack of rim locks or because of this little nut here. That I understand is supposed to be away from the rim. I had it on the rim, and being away from the rim, it keeps the valve stem from falling in if you have a flat, and it also gives a little wiggle room. So I don't know if either of those were the cause or it was too low of tire pressure. All 3 instances happened when I was doing off-roading. So I have not been off-road since the installation of the rim locks, so I don't know if that has solved the problem. But if you have any input or any suggestions, please feel free to comment. The tires, they're stock tires, and I'm actually really happy with the stock tires, the Dunlop 605. They perform pretty well on the street. They're grippy. I have not had any front end slides, the rear a little bit, and on the dirt, they perform really well. In the mud, they did pretty good. I was surprised about that. On the hard packed, dry dirt, it does get a little sketchy. The front end tends to slide a little bit more, but it's kind of expected for a dual sport tire to be able to handle things moderately, not great. So they're good tires for the purpose of the bike, and I think I would actually buy them again. I've installed the EJK tuner or fuel controller, and also in conjunction with that I did a pipe and the KLX snorkel. I also installed the speedometer healer, or the SpeedoHealer, because I put in a 13-tooth counter sprocket, so the SpeedoHealer keeps the miles per hour and the odometer correct. The EJK, it's a really nice product. It improves the ride quality of the bike. The way the bike's power comes on is more smooth, and it's more responsive. I am still playing around with the settings. We've gone through all kinds of settings, tried the suggested factory one, and at one point, which was 411, at one point I went with a 331, and that I really like that, but it was consuming a lot of fuel. So I'm gonna switch it up to see what I can do to keep performance and fuel economy. So if anybody out there is doing the EJK and has their dials or their settings dialed in, please let me know. The previous owner installed these nice wide foot pegs. I don't know what kind they are, but I do know they're durable and comfortable, so I'm pretty pleased with those. Coming around towards the back, I did get the Delkavic 14-inch oval. It's a really nice pipe. I'm really happy with it. It's a slip-on. It has 3 options for the baffle. You can run no baffle, you can run a baffle, and you can run a spark arrestor. Currently, I'm running the spark arrestor, and I'm real happy with the tone and the way it responds. Previous owner had also installed this rack. It looks like a PM rack, but I'm not certain because there's no markings on it. It works really well. I have the Rigg Gear bags, the fuel canister. It's a small fuel tank, 2 gallons, so I carry this. It's an extra 30 ounces of fuel, so just in case. I also have the Rigg Gear tank bag, and those bags are really nice. They're durable, quality, and they don't move around. They're real nice bags. The previous owner had also chopped the fender, which looks fine to me. I'm pretty happy with it. Along the back is the radiator coolant overflow reservoir, and it's just this big white chunk of plastic, and it really stood out. So I had some vinyl wrap lying around, so I went ahead and wrapped it just to let it blend in with the bike a little bit better. Over here, the rear shock, I did have an issue with the rear shock. At one point I blew out the seal, and so it was leaking shock oil, and I took that to the local shop and they repaired it, did a real nice job. If you're in the area of Salinas, DC10 Performance, a shop run by Doug Chandler. Now the suspension, it's set up for somebody actually my size. I'm about 5'8", 155 pounds, so I didn't have to do too much adjustments for it, and it works really well for someone of my size and my riding ability. I like to do a lot of trails, off-roading and street, and it handles fine. On bigger, larger jumps, it handles them, but I could see how you would want to revalve the front and maybe the back, but at this point it's not necessary. There's my Bazooka Joe. He protects the bike. Up top we have 30 millimeter risers with the ProTaper Carmichael bend, 7/8 handlebar with the pillow top grips. I'm really happy with this setup. The stock bars a little heavy and a little low. I like the setup with the riser. It gives me a little bit more comfort and feels a little more controlled, and it's more suited for the attack position better than the stock ones. I also installed these angular mirrors from Amazon. The bike came with one round mirror, and so I just wanted a pair of mirrors, so that's what I did. I also have these levers, the MZS. They're real nice. I don't need to fold them back this way or anymore because I have the Acerbis hand guards. The nice thing about these levers is that they do fit right in the hand guards, and I didn't need to trim anything. Of course, these are really nice hand guards. The only issue that I had with them was the installation. It was impeded by the banjo nut, so I had to either have it above or below, and at that point it was too high or too low. So what I did was I got a spacer and a longer bolt, and that worked out perfectly. The other side was just fine. And like I said, these MZS levers, they're a great deal. My brother-in-law, he has these really nice ASV ones, and he told me, he goes, your levers are really nice. I'm impressed by them, and they're a fraction of what I paid for mine. So if you're looking for some good levers, those are good. All these modifications I've been real happy with, and the install on them were very simple. Like I said, the only thing a little challenging was the Acerbis, and that wasn't a big deal. Also, I installed a horn from a GMC Savannah, and it pretty much bolted right on. It's pretty loud, and it sounds like a van when you honk it, or a truck. And I'm running the Tusk skid plate. Real serious skid plate. Does a great job. Very happy with it. Overall, I just really think the bike's doing a great job for what I need it for. It's not a daily rider. It's just something that I use on the weekend or occasionally during the week. It allows me to hit trails. I've gone to Hollister Hills and it's done fine out there. Hit some dirt roads down the coast here, and it does great on the road. On the highway, it's getting to its limit, but with the EJK, it's almost as if it gave it another gear. It revs higher and still pulls at the upper RPM. So around 65, I'm at 8,000 RPMs right now, which prior to the EJK, it was getting pretty close to maxed out at the speed limit. A fun little bike. I would recommend it. Some people say it's a great beginner bike. The only thing I would say about that is the height. I know most beginners, they don't feel too comfortable if they can't get both feet flat on the ground. And once you get over that, this thing would be perfect. The stock seat, is actually pretty good for someone like me. I don't weigh too much. So overall, been real happy with the bike. So come on out and ride and enjoy. Have a great day.